Hey y'all, welcome back to MovementLink. So we're talking about the snatch, and in this specific video, we're talking about the first pull of the snatch. So we like to talk about the snatch and the clean in the setup position, okay? And I've got a video on the setup position, but the setup position, the first pull is getting that bar into a position where I can get maximal velocity on the bar, and the second pull is driving it up. So I want maximal velocity on the bar at that point. Then when the bar is heading up, we're gonna pull on it. This is the third pull, pulling yourself down and punching around it. That's the third pull. And then we're in the receiving position, and then we're gonna stand up with it. So the first pull is a complete setup move. So we set up in a particular way, and we start the exercise in a particular way so we can maximize velocity at the top of the second pull. To do that, we need to prioritize getting ourselves into our strongest position possible to do that, which is going to be our jumping position. And if we put a barbell here, we just call it the hang position. So the priority of the first pull is to get from our good setup position into our jumping position. So what that is going to look like, and again, we have a setup video, so you'll be able to see a little bit more all the things I'm doing here to set up. But going from our start position into a jumping position, and then that's going to start that second pull so I can drive that bar up. But the biggest mistake people make is they try and do a snatch, happens in the clean too, they try and do the lift starting from the floor. And what we have to remember is these are very distinct pieces. If I was going to try and get max speed off of the floor, I set up way more like a deadlift, and I'd stand way closer to that bar. But in the setup, I'm standing a little bit back. That way I can pull the bar back in. So instead of deadlifting the bar up and having that chest kind of rise up a little bit faster, in the snatch, what I'm trying to do is maintain that back angle, and it almost feels like you're doing a leg press into the ground. So you leg press into the ground, maintaining the back angle as you pull the bar in around the knees and back up in, so then we can start the jumping position, which is the second pull. So just keep that in mind. The first pull, especially in the beginning, people who almost do slow motion first pulls usually snatch way, way better than the people just ripping it off the floor. The priority is maximal speed at the top of that second pull. To make that happen, we've got to get into the jumping position. And we come too fast off the floor and we come up like this, or we just miss the position altogether, we're not going to be able to lift as much weight. So something to note, it's almost everyone in the beginning, if we just put that bar in the hip crease or go into a hang position, almost everyone can snatch more that way than they can from the ground, which doesn't make a lot of sense because we can get a lot of momentum off the ground. But the reason is because when they start in these high leverage positions, they can get more power. And then what happens is they get too excited off the ground and we miss those high leverage positions, and it's all this strength move. So just keep in mind the first pull of the snatch is getting from the ground to a jumping position, and the most consistent way to do that is learn how to just kind of leg press yourself, get the knees out of the way without shooting your butt up, without picking your chest up, and we're just looking, are you in that jumping position? Did you get to that jumping position? What we like to do in the beginning is have people go slow motion and pause. So what that looks like is if we're going to start the snatch, we're just going to go slow and pause, and then we'll go do a snatch. Then when they get better at that, we're just going to go slow motion. And then when they get better at that, we're going to make that first part full speed. But it's all about position, 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 position in the first pull, and speed comes secondary to position. Hope that helps.